Welcome in to the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 29. I'm Andy Strickland. What's up, Cam Jansen? How you doing, brah?
What up?
What's wrong with you today?
I'm good, man. We're chilling.
You sound like you're low in the energy department.
Why the fuck do you always say that off the bat? Like, you always fucking say that off the bat. I'm fucking sitting in my recliner in my office day after day after day, and I say the same shit to you, and you always say I'm fucking down, and then I have to chirp you off the bat.
There we go. See, I just wanted to get that out of you, man.
Well, fuck.
We appreciate that. We appreciate it. How you doing? What's new? Fill us in.
Well, I'm doing the same thing every day. I talk to you a lot. I'm staring at the meadow in my backyard right now, watching a cat chase a squirrel. Other than that, I read a lot. I hang out with my wife, and I read a lot.
Can I ask you a question here?
No.
Okay. Do you feel bad for professional athletes who are going through everything else we're going through, right? Where we can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, you're self-quarantined. Some have kids, some don't. But every interview that I see with an athlete or a coach is, how you handling it? How you doing? How you hanging in there? Like, they can't pay their bills.
No shit.
Like, they don't live in like a 10,000 square foot house, or obviously a super nice condo or apartment if they don't live in a house. Like I think they're okay. Hockey players, last time I checked, Cam, and I think most would agree with this, they got paid the entire season.
No shit.
I think they're okay.
Are you guys okay? Yeah, we're holding up okay. Well, the two nannies are really struggling right now. Well, fuck off. Like, who cares? No, I feel bad for them because they're not playing. Some of the rookie guys aren't making their money, and they're just trying to get in the league. Look, I get that, but they're the least on my fucking list of people I feel sorry for right now. I feel sorry for the people that are grinding it in the fucking grocery store, the truck drivers that are fucking grinding it, the first responders, my wife's brother who's working like 50-hour goddamn shifts. Those are the people I feel bad for. So it's like, you know what? Look, everybody's going through the same shit. Some people are having better than others. I'm kicking my feet up. I'm okay. Worried about my parents. But no, I don't feel bad for any fucking athlete right now, to be completely honest with you. Unless it's a guy that's never made money, who's trying to grind it out, working his ass off, and, you know, this all of a sudden happens. But other than that, boom, don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I think most players would agree. Like, why are we being asked that? It's like every interview I see, or if it's one of these Zoom calls that, you know, you see that, you know, being put out by the league or whatever, it's like, how you holding up over there? Like they're like being held in captivity.
I know.
Last time I checked, a lot of the states around the country, Cam, you're allowed to golf. Golf courses are open. If you're joined, you know, if you belong to a private club, I think there's some public clubs that are open as well, and are public courses. And I've reached out to a number of guys. They're golfing.
Yeah, they're fucking chilling. Like, who cares? The only thing, they're fucking annoyed because they're around their wives and their kids all day. They can't escape as much as they'd like to, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they got to do daddy work, maybe. I don't know. Not that they don't want to do that, but it's just like they got to do extra of it, you know? Like, yeah, they're golf. Oh, I got to golf every day again. Oh, I got to golf. Although I can't use a cart and I can't be too close to my buddy. But you're doing the same goddamn thing you've always done. It doesn't matter.
I know, man.
I don't mean to rip on them too much, but fuck.
No, but I'm not ripping on the players because I think they would agree with that. It's like, it's not their fault they're being asked these questions.
No shit.
But just so everybody knows, okay, we've done a little research here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. We've reached out. They're okay. NHL players are okay.
GoFundMe page. Yeah.
Well, they're doing that for the East Coast League players.
Yeah, I know.
I get that.
I mean, I get that. I get because Biz played there, and those guys are struggling, man. But they're still their decision too. And look, man, you're one step away from making money. You play in American League, honestly, like you can make a couple $100,000 and fucking play for 10 years and have money in the bank when you're done. Meet people, do this, maybe get called up, maybe not. Even if you don't, you can still be a fucking grinder and make a great living. So you're there. You're right there. I mean, so like, I get it. I get why they would do that on the hockey side of things. Don't get me wrong, but there's definitely other people around that, you know, again, I look to that I feel bad for more than any other athlete, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Although not every player in the American League, as you know, makes $200,000, right? No,
not the young kids. But you play, if you're steady in American League and you're putting points up every year in American League, you're making over $100,000, dude. Like, if you're a first, second line guy, even a third line guy that penalty kills, like, you're making good money. You're making, if you put points up, you're making good money. Now you have to be on an American League deal. You can't be, but you earn that. You play decent there, you're going to make good money. It is what it is.
Yeah, and there's talk about NHL players maybe foregoing their last and final paycheck, which is due on April 15th, maybe to go towards the escrow pot. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But if they make, if you were to tell a player, hey, you're going to make every paycheck this season except for maybe the last one, and I think there's a lot of guys out there would say, I don't want to miss any paychecks, and they shouldn't have to miss a paycheck. But it is what it is where we're at, and there's a lot of people out there in the world who are missing paychecks, man. They live paycheck to paycheck.
I spend that week 13 paycheck in fucking a weekend anyway. So it's like I would fucking waste the shit out of that. Fuck that, man. No, I don't mean to. But look, this is what we do all day. We're on the radio all day. Like it's just we're all going through it, man. We're all going through it.
No doubt. But I just get the sense right now, and you could tell me I'm completely wrong. We may be having this conversation 2-3 months from now, and nothing's changed. But I just feel like we're starting to maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel. Baseball's coming out with ideas they may put in place as soon as next month in May. We'll see if it plays out that way. Who knows? NHL talk about all these different ideas, having remote games, site game. I mean, I don't know if any of these ideas make sense or not, but it's like maybe we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows?
I don't know. I think that the light that we're not going to see is 20,000 people in a rink or a stadium or anything like that.
Not going to see that.
Dude, you're not going to see that for a long time. Will you see something on TV that's sports related? I think so. But as far as the gathering, like how the fuck, the way things are going right now, is people are going to be like, oh, you know what? Everything's fine. Everything's good. 20,000 people, go ahead and congregate together and don't worry about anything. It's just going to turn like a light switch. No, it's not. This is going to be in my opinion, and I am a scientist, as you guys know, this is going to be a gradual thing before we get a mass of people together to be able to watch a sporting event. But on TV, it's a separate issue, in my opinion.
Well, listen, even when they open the country back up, I mean, people are still going to be cautious. They're not going to be like breathing down each other's necks. Maybe in Eureka, where you live, like they do that because they're close talkers over there in Eureka. But the majority of the country, majority of people don't do that, and they won't do it. And if you look,
you can't help it sometimes. Andy.
No, but if you look at NHL arenas, look at how close the seats are to one another. That's just why, to validate your point, I just don't see this season specifically putting 20,000 people in an arena sitting right next to each other with everything that's just gone on. It's just not realistic. That's not going to happen. Now, we could see games without fans, and Ilya Kovalchuk, who you're going to listen to here in just a few minutes, I think he made a comment during the course of the interview, Cam, where he thinks it's a dumb idea. It's stupid to play without fans. How would you feel about that?
Look, the only thing you can't do without fans is what I'm seeing on TV right now is WWF shit. Like they have to have their fans for it to work, in my opinion. The UFC can go, Dana White could buy a fucking island and have these guys beat the fuck out of each other like goddamn Mortal Kombat, the movie, and do their shit. And then if you want to watch a fucking game like it's preseason anyway, when no one's there, or a training camp game, I still watch that when there's 10 people in the stands anyway. So like you can still watch hockey and play the game without people fucking screaming at you. The one thing you can't do, in my opinion, is WWE stuff where they just need the crowd for it to work. I'll watch anything on TV except for that shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, Ilya Kovalchuk coming up.
Oh, baby.
All the players you ever play with. I know you mentioned Spezza when you were playing junior hockey, and he was a phenom, played for the Canadian World Junior team as a 16-year-old. Not many guys have done that. Like, who's the most impressive player? Who's the teammate you had? Is there anybody besides Kovalchuk that just made your jaw drop at their ability to play hockey?
I never really played with big. I mean, Zach Parise is great. Elias and guys in different categories were really, really good. Like John Madden, that was a third line guy. Totally played with great defensemen and things like that. But Kobe was a freak, man. I mean, fucking 6'3", 240 pounds, handsome as shit, nicest guy, speaks well, speaks English extremely well, funny, laughs at everything. Then he goes out there and does shit at that size, and he's moving around like he's fucking Brian Giunta, and you're like, what the fuck? I mean, he would do weird shit in practice where he'd go down on Marty and like flip the puck up, hit it over Marty's head and tap it in with, shit like that where you're like, you're too big to do that, dude. You're too big to do that. And again, he laughed at all my shit, and I love him even more for that.
Yeah. No, he was a good guy, man. So how was he as a teammate, though? What was he like? Because he made so much money. He had a bunch of money, and
Yeah.
I love hearing the stories, Cam, of guys who made a lot of money who took care of the boys
Oh,
in the restaurant.
fuck, dude. I remember one time we were in Florida for we've had the same birthday, right? And we're in Florida during a playoffs. Did we play Florida? Yes, playoffs. And all of a sudden we come back from practice and we go into Kobe's room to chill, and balloons everywhere, bottles of wine, a cake that was made of a hockey skate, and like a fucking Porsche bike, and just fucking expensive shit, jewelry and shit. I'm like, oh my, is this all mine too? And he's like, well, fuck no, you idiot, that's for my wife. But you could have some of the cake. I mean, this extravagant shit that he was able to do and still does. But he just was so down to earth, man. I swear to God, he would always, now his relationships with Lou and maybe the coaching staff, because he's on a different level, was completely different. But how he was to guys like me and everybody on the team, fucking remarkable, man. And he did not have to be that way, and he was fucking awesome guy.
When he walked into the room, or just his presence alone, like, did he just carry himself differently? Like, did you look at him differently, even though you guys are all on a team, Cam, and it's the National Hockey League, right? Everybody's a good player. Everybody has skill. I think, including you, Cam.
Shut up. I know what you're fucking laughing.
But obviously, listen, man, I'll give you all the credit in the world. I always have, in terms of how you played the game. The fact that you got there, you were able to stick around. You did what you had to do. But was he just different because he was such a superstar?
Yes. Okay, I'll give you an example. When Marty Brodeur walked into the room, he's got that big barrel chest, and he doesn't say much, and he's got that, well, hello, But Kobe walked in, he'd be like, da 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 da, and do like a little dance, and like, what's up, da 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 da. And you're like, what, like, he's goofy like me. I mean, like, and I'm goofy, and he was the same way, but he's a fucking superstar, and it's just the fucking coolest thing in the world for a guy like that just to be a fucking goofball, like, dude, and not a dick to people. Like, Yogs would be a goofball, but then he'd fucking rip Dana Zubris apart and try to tie me into it. And I'm like, motherfucker, get me out of this thing. But then Kobe would never do that. He'd just be nice to everybody. He'd be pissing himself. Never fucking, he just never belittled anybody or looked down on anybody. You fucking pass up to him. He never gave you that look. Just awesome, man. I'm just telling you.
Listen, you hear the same stories about Crosby and whatever, how he treats the last player on the team no different than he does Evgeny Malkin or whatever, right? I mean, just a true leader, such a pro. You think it's difficult for some of these guys? Like, they get way more attention than everybody else. They know they're better than everybody else, but at the end of the day, they just want to fit in, right? And just be one of the boys.
Well, they're living a great life. Here, I'll give you an example. This is how I feel during the night skates. I'm better than everybody else. I get more attention than everybody else, and I treat everybody like shit. Kobe treats everybody great.
That's because all the good alumni, none of them come out and play.
None of them play because they all hate me. No,
all the other alumni that come out and play maybe at the latest in the early 80s. Okay?
We love it. No, we have so much fun, man. But no, you get my drift. Like, he doesn't have to be, man, and he was just cool. So enjoy this, guys.
I love how you work your way into the conversation. Work your way into the conversation. And the conversation about superstars too. But
compared to the alumni skate, Dick.
Yeah, but we were excited to have him on, man, because he is honestly a legend. And you know what? And you know him personally because you played with him. Seeing him struggle in LA, it's so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, it was sad.
I'm glad he got out of there.
I know. And then he goes and dominates, and now he's playing with fucking.
Well, he became a rock star again in Montreal, and he talks about it, man. I mean, that just rejuvenates you right there. So, looks like a great family man. I love his stuff that he puts out there on Instagram and social media stuff too. So I enjoy this, man. Ilya Kovalchuk, a true legend. Really interesting story in terms of the life that he's lived throughout the game of hockey and as one of the best NHL players of his era. Hey, as always, the Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Bellman.com, man. If you're looking for a new set of wheels, the sun is out, the temperature is getting warmer, the flowers are about to bloom, make sure you look good when you're driving around town. And the way to do that is to contact our boys over at www.bellman.com. Whether you're looking for a Cadillac, it could be a Jeep, it could be something nice that you need to do to treat yourself, man. It's been hard. We're all going through this. We're going through it together, aren't we, Cam? Right?
Yeah, we are, baby. And it is.
So sometimes you got to spoil yourself, and the best way to do it, maybe get a new car from Bellman.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the weather is beautiful, but they will come to you. And not to mention, they'll have a little video, a virtual showing of any car you want. They'll show you it. You look at it online, of course, Bellman.com. But they're ready for you. They'll come to you. They make it easy for you. They're adapting with the times. And not to mention, they're great people and great hockey people. They do a lot of support for youth hockey in this town, and it's always good to give back. And those are the right people that do it, man. So they'll give you great customer service, and they're great people in this community. It's a double whammy, Andy Strickland.
I love it. So again, check them out, Bellman.com in Troy, Missouri. And again, like Cam said, if you're interested in the car, they can do that over a Zoom call or Skype or whatever, and let you see it. And then they'll bring it to you fully sanitized. You know, we keep mentioning this, how it's fully sanitized, it's clean, they'll drop off a loaner car for you. You don't have to worry about the big germ getting on you and all that type of stuff. But they were the first dealership that I heard doing this type of business. Now you see a lot of other dealerships starting to follow their lead. They are the trendsetter. That's what we have here on the Cam and Strick Podcast with Dan Bellman and the entire Bellman team over there. www.bellman.com. Appreciate all the support they're giving us here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. And, of course, our girl Renee Howitt with cope24.com. Again, visit them online, www.cope24.com. All right, we got to get down to business here. Ilya Kovalchuk, a true heavyweight in the National Hockey League, not in terms of fighting, but in terms of star power. This guy is unreal on the ice. Listen now to find out how good he is off the ice. A great interview. We enjoyed this. Ilya Kovalchuk right here on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
It's good to hear your voice, big dog. What are you doing, man?
I'm sitting at home like everybody else. Try to entertain
question.
my kids, man. Four
And you're
kids
like
running around, try to kill each other. So it's not easy to handle.
Yeah. See, tell Cam what that's like, Covey, because I've been trying to tell him. I've got 3 kids of my own. We're all stuck at home. You can't go anywhere. The teachers are sending 15, 20 emails a day. It's so overwhelming. And he's on like a vacation at home. He has nothing to do but his dogs and cats and his wife. So tell him it's not as nice as people think it is.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's got his Bud Light next to him, so he's having fun.
Yes, I do. And I believe it's Coors Light today, buddy.
Yeah, Coors Light. I don't think you can say that in St. Louis, man. Come on.
No, well, it doesn't matter anymore. They sold the company. But no, you're and they might be a sponsor actually now that I think about it. But Kobe, how you doing, man? You in LA right now? Are you can you train at home? What's your mindset like right now?
Yeah,
I
got a bike, some few dumbbells and stuff. So me and my wife usually we train together because she's trained way more than me usually.
Oh.
So she lead the way, yeah. But no, first week was, I take it as a, little vacation to spend time with family and stuff because especially this year was crazy for me. I was and, it was really good for me to get back home and see everybody. But now, yeah, I start doing some stuff, like some sprints, some lifting, some jumps. So keep myself in shape and hopefully all this, virus stuff. So we're going to go through and everybody start doing their normal thing again. So.
Yeah, I saw some pictures online there. It looks like you're in like a 1,000 square foot apartment. Like you have no room to work out. I mean, it must be tough where you're at. Your house is everywhere, Kobe.
It's a trailer park.
I'm almost 37 years old, so I try to put myself in a comfortable, home so I can work out at home too.
Where are you at in LA?
We're in Beverly Hills.
I love it.
I
want to be in Beverly Hills. What are you seeing? You seeing like celebrities and like movie stars everywhere? Like who's your next door neighbor?
But I don't know. I never pay attention to that. I'm not a big guy, to go chase somebody and stuff. But I'm pretty sure somebody lives around. But it's nice weather here. We're lucky because some people like sit somewhere where it's snow and stuff, raining. So. It's got to be way tougher. But, most important thing right now is to stay home and be safe because it's way serious than some people think it is. And I think we have to take care of ourselves, our families, but people who try to help us too. So it's important to stay home.
Yeah, I bet you're pretty pumped, though. I mean, you kind of went through a little bit of whirlwind Playing, of course, with the Kings. That was kind of didn't go your way. Then you go to Montreal and you kind of redeem yourself and all that attention. Now all of a sudden you get back to Washington, probably with one of the most talented teams ever. TJ Oshie to Carlson, Tom Wilson, and of course your buddy Alexander Ovechkin. So you're probably really craving to get back into the things because that's your buddy. And God Almighty, I want to watch you two go at it.
Yeah, it's not just because he's my buddy, but it's a great chance to win something special, and I think that group of guys, they're ready. They're experienced, they're healthy, they're big, strong. Like you see St. Louis last year, they won the cup. Nobody expect everybody thought like Tampa or all those skilled teams will do really well, but I think playoffs, it's really about size and toughness and everything together. So we were ready, the last few games we played really well. It's taken me a little time to adjust to the system and everything. But, great group of guys, and was very excited to be there. So hopefully, like I said, we're going to finish the season and playoffs will start.
I was joking with Cam. We were laughing earlier about how you and Ovechkin probably just got the deal done on the phone. You probably called them and said, hey, here's what Montreal is going to give Washington, and this is what Washington's going to give Montreal, and then we'll just call the general managers and let them know what the deal is. But in all seriousness, how much did you guys have to do, with orchestrating this trade, and what was your guys' reaction once it came together?
Actually, we didn't talk much about the trade. I saw a few guys from watching Miami at the Christmas break. So we just have a dinner and talk a little bit. And I mentioned that it'll be nice to play, but you never know. We're just the players, so the GMs, they gotta do what's the best for their teams. And I just when I got a call from Birch, we talked, and I feel like it was a great place for me to go because in LA I didn't play much this year, and I missed almost a month. So when I get there, the team was great, the atmosphere, the fans, it's unbelievable. I was there for a month and a half, but I feel like home. And then by the trade deadline, all that happened. So obviously I was happy because it's a great chance to achieve something special, like I said. So I don't think I'm pretty sure it's Ovi and all the Russian guys and guys who know me there. They were asked by their GM about me, but I don't think he was the guy who was calling GM and pushing every second. I don't think that's
Yeah, you never know. Hey, what about being in Montreal though? Like you've had so much success. You're a Russian player. You've been here. You left. You came back, and I know the way it went down in LA, regardless of your situation, the team wasn't very good. You weren't winning. You're at this stage of your career. But then to kind of get back to rock star status in a hockey crazed market like Montreal, can you describe that experience, what that was like for you?
It was great. I don't think my life so way more happier than I was for a long time. That's because when they came to Montreal, I was telling them on the phone it's different because, LA, it's obviously a great organization, but the hockey, it's the fans they're good. They fill out the stands, but they're kind of quiet. I never played playoff game here, but during the regular season, and it's way different in Montreal. The people in their stands, they understand hockey really well. They will see every mistake, every good move, wherever you do, they react. So it's fun to be in that. I love that kind of pressure. So everywhere I play, that's what I was looking for. So it was a great experience, and the team welcomed me, so good. All the leaders there, Webby and Pricey and all those guys, Galley. So it was so easy transaction for me. I wasn't expected actually because I thought it'll be a little tougher, especially with all the media and stuff, but it's worked out really well. I had so much fun, and we didn't, achieve what we kind of were looking for. We have, there was so many injury guys and stuff, but, it's a great group of guys. I think that's a bright future in front of them. It's a lot of younger players like Domes, all those guys who is really talented, and like I said, it was fun.
So speaking of being in the spotlight, you get drafted first overall, Kobe, to Atlanta. Which you look back at it now, you're probably like, fuck, if you were in Toronto, the spotlight would have been amplified by a million. What was it like in Atlanta? I mean, you had a cool group of guys, you had a good team eventually, your team, hosts and all those guys too. But what was it like playing in Atlanta? Did people even recognize you? Were the fans okay? Like, I mean, that's a weird
great.
market.
Atlanta, I think it was really good for me as a rookie. I was playing a lot of minutes right away and not too much pressure. So I was 18-year-old. So it was great. But like you said, we have I think my first 5 years we had 5 first-round picks, but I don't know what happened with them. So I don't think anybody else instead of me or Danny stayed there more than 2-3 years. So, but it was a great town, great weather. When we made the playoffs one year when the Walt was there. The one, not the old little now running around.
The Walt.
Yeah.
No shit.
So he was there, and we have Alex Zitnik and all those guys. So Bob Hartley was the coach, and we lost in the first round, but the city was actually buzzing. It's really sports city, like with Atlanta Hawks and Braves and Falcons. They all were really close. All the arenas were so. It's nice city.
It's funny you said the Walt. When I knew we were having you on, man, Big Walt. I sent him a text this morning. I sent Scott Mellby a text. I said, hey, we're having, Kobe on the podcast, and these guys love you, man. They knew how much talent you had, and that you were just gonna go on and have this unbelievable career. But those guys specifically, you probably didn't know Kovalchuk until he got there. How funny was he, and what was it like playing with him? I'll play just for a couple of months.
Man, he was my the coach. He wanted to sit next to, I was sitting next to him. They wanted to kind of babysit him, so he was so funny, man. He's the best. He's I know he gained a little weight right now, but he was in a lot of shape back then too. But he was a big body, really tough and a great teammate. And I'm lucky that I have those guys. Like you said, Mel, he was our captain, one of the best leaders, who I employed with. So those guys, you take all the best from them, and you grow as a man, as a person, and as a hockey player too.
Yeah, well, we had a good run, Kobe, in 2012, and I don't know if Eric Bolton was on that team with Walt or not, but I know you played with him in Atlanta, and we kind of had a great group of guys in Jersey, and we were fucking good, and we went a long way, man. That was a hell of a run, but it just shows you having a core group of guys like that. Everybody kind of hung out with each other, and it kind of helped us propel into a team, man. That was a fun year, wasn't it?
No, for sure, man. I think that was one of the best. Why that was the best year of my career in NHL for sure. Because if we start from the coaching stuff, you remember all Pete, OC, Larry Robinson. All Hall of Famers. Was helping the head coach and the group of all the guys. Start with MB and everybody. We were so all tight, hang out together. It's important, I think, to win something special, especially in this league with all those games and stuff. You have to have a great group of guys because you spend way more time with them than with your family. So it's it is your family, and we weren't the best team there for sure. When we play Rangers and conference final, everybody thought that they're going to kill us. But, all those little things helped a long way. So it was a fun year. I remember you were telling the starting lineup before every game. That
fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
You were killing it, man. Ripping the shorts and stuff. I was ready to go. I'm telling you, when you were finished.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, by the way.
Wait, fill us in. Hold on, Cam, fill us in. What would you do? You just get up there and because you weren't playing, right, in the playoff games?
No. They wanted me to go into the locker room before the games, right before they went out on the ice, and give a little pump-up speech and try to be creative. And it was so fucking stressful.
Yeah, she was doing it 10 times or whatever, 15 times in a row or something. So that was funny.
Yeah, that was
That's
tough,
awesome.
Man. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
well, who asked you to do that?
I did my part.
Did Lou ask you to do that, or who asked you to do it?
Yeah, Lou probably wanted me to do something like that. I don't know. It was funny, nerve-wracking as shit. But Kobe, like, what do you think happened? Like, fucking LA just. That was weird. That was a year they kind of put it together too at the end of the year. And what was your mindset going into the finals there? Like, were you like, were the boys? I mean, like, in the locker room, were you confident? I mean, what was your take on playing LA at the beginning? Because they surprised everybody.
Yeah, because they finished 8th, I think, in Western Conference. So, but they older like younger guys, and they have the older guys. All the team was there. The quickie was unbelievable. The first 2 games at home we lost in OT. It was like really tight games. All the games were really tight except last one when I think Bernier took a 5-minute major and they scored like 4 goals. So it was a blowout. But unfortunate for us. But the best team win and they deserve it. So like I said, but I think quickie was. Great. I think he get the MVP that year too. So.
They were blocking shots too. We couldn't get anything through. I remember that. Like that was weird, man. They fucking turned into a hell of a hockey club for the next 3-4 years. So it's just one of those things, man. But yeah, that was fun, man. That was a fun fucking year. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a great year for sure.
Maybe if Cam played in the final, maybe the results will be a little bit different there, Kobe. You never know. Maybe he might have been the missing link.
Everybody would be a little bigger too. I know.
Hey, but listen, man. I haven't heard you talk much about it, but like you obviously made the decision. You signed the huge contract in New Jersey, a $100 million contract, and you leave to go back to Russia. I mean, people just assume that you just made the decision and just left. Like, how difficult was it, and like, what was the hardest part of making that decision to head back home for 5 seasons?
I don't think everybody, like, I don't know if anybody know, but in that contract, my first 2 years were the salary was lower than my average. So I was making, I think, $6 million a year. And because when I left, everybody thought, I took all the money and left and blah, blah, blah. But actually, I think it was good for both sides because Georgie was a little in trouble back then. I think Vanabik was the owner and he wasn't doing really well financially. So I think the team was happy too that I made that decision. But you remember lockout year and I went back home and I have so much fun there. And, see play in front of your family, be close to your mom and stuff. And for my kids it was important to go back and, to see where they get from because they were born here. And so a lot of little details. And that's when I went to Lou and asked if we can make it happen. So.
Yeah, no. So you did grow up in Russia and all that stuff. Do you still live out there? Where do you have places? I know you got a place in LA and I think Florida.
Yeah. We have a house in Moscow. Yeah, we going back there usually summertime to see family and stuff.
So that was a blast. You won over there. Like, was it fun? Like, with a guy, like, you're friends with all the guys that you kind of grew up playing with, I guess, and different national teams. I mean, the travel was a lot worse. So Kobe, like, shit.
No,
man.
Travel was easy because I played in St. Petersburg. So the travel was really easy. We're right in the middle of, so the worst, trip was to the China team and the teams who next to them. So it's 7 hours flight, but it's just once a year. But it was fun. I play with all those guys. Like we have Panarin, Dadnov, Gusev, Datsuk, Slava Voinov was on our team. So we have a pretty good team there. And now all those guys coming here and playing younger guys. So Capers of the kid who is gonna come I think next year. He's Minnesota draft. So those guys we played together, and they're all young, talented players was back then. But now let's see Panarin, he's dominating the league. It's great to see those guys growing as became superstars.
Wow. Because you left for 5 years. I mean, who knows what your NHL numbers would look like, Kobe, if you would have stayed. You would have been, probably approaching 600 goals, maybe even more at this stage of your career. Would have played more games. Like, is that something you think about? Does that bother you at all? That maybe your numbers, you're going to have your NHL numbers and your KHL numbers, and maybe when it's all said and done.
No, I never know. I think I made a real good decision for myself because, my dad and myself goal was to win Olympics. And I thought that was especially because my contract was up a year before I came back. And it was ways to come back to NHL. But when I find out that NHL not going to go to Olympics, all that stuff, I decided to stay one more year because that was important for me. And my dad passed away 12 years ago, but I think for me it was important to try to accomplish his goal, and my goal is a kid, So I did that, and I think I were more healthier now than I was when I left because my back was bottoms, me and my shoulder and everything, and so it was a good decision for myself because hockey is not everything, in your life. It's I love that sport to that. That's my favorite thing to do, but I have a family and I need to, think I want to be healthy and strong, and I want to have fun with my kids when I'm done too.
Are your kids?
How good was Panarin? Go ahead.
Were your kids going to play hockey, Kobe? Did they play any sports?
my younger one, he plays. He's 10 now. He's righty, so that I give him a chance. But the other one, he took a left-hand stick, so I tell him you should play soccer. So he's played soccer now.
How good was a young Panarin? Like, did you know this kid was going to be a superstar when he got over here?
Yeah, he was he was bouncing around the teams. I don't know what was the problem there, but when he came to us, we had a great coach, Slava Bykov. I don't know if you know the guy or not. He was our national team coach too. When we won in 2008 and 2009 the World Championships. So he was young, and he put him together with Dadonov and Shipachyov, the guy who went to Vegas for a few games and went back home. Mm-hmm. But I think Shipachyov, he's really, right now he's dominating the cage. He's the best centerman there by far. And I really think he's really, really good player. But for him it was tough to come back here to, US, and he didn't speak any language, and he's already like in his late 20s, and it's different. And like I told him too, when you go here, it's nobody gonna lick your ass and try to make you comfortable because you gotta go and fight for your spot and stuff. But so they ended up playing together, and they were unbelievable. And Panarin were like every game, every month, and every year he became better and better, more professional. The way he trains and stuff, the way he eats, and I knew that guy gonna kill in NHL. The first year he went to Chicago, he was ready to play, and plus he played with Kane and stuff, so it's to make it even better for him.
Oh, he's high kicking it every other fucking game in MSG, kicking his skate up, almost kicked himself in the fucking head after he
now
scores.
He's just having fun, he feels
he's awesome.
Comfortable, and he's always smiling. He's one of those very positive guys.
Oh yeah, he loves it on the Broadway, man.
Yeah. Big place for him.
I was going to ask you this. You have so many cool memories playing, and but the one that I can think of, probably one of the coolest things we've seen in hockey, is when you and TJ Oshie went toe to toe, going back and forth and back. Where was that? Sochi? Was that Sochi?
Yeah.
Sochi, oh my God Almighty, dude, that was sick. Fucking back and forth, and it was like, what the fuck's going on here? It was the most incredible thing. And you must have blew up right after that. Had to do about 50,000 interviews, but that was pretty cool. And give kudos to TJ Oshie too, by the way.
Have you guys talked about that? Have you guys talked about it since he got to Washington?
No, we didn't. But he's scoring. I don't know what's his percentage on penalty shots, but he's really skilled. Like overall, you can see in practice, those little things he did with the puck and stuff. He's a great player, obviously. But he beat both me and Datsyuk. So we were switching every time, and he was going to taking every shot.
Unbelievable, man. That was unreal. That was unreal. Shit. What was it like when you were young, Kobe? Were you dominant? You're close to your mom and dad. Did they support you in every way? Like, was it tough growing up? Like, what was your childhood like?
Yeah, my dad, he was a basketball player. So, but his favorite sport was hockey. and his best friend was my first coach. So yeah, I don't know, I was pretty good. You can check my stats, but you know, if I made NHL at 18, but yeah, my father, both of them, my mom too, but my mom, she was take care of my school and make sure I was eating good. But my dad, he was with me all the time. He was at every practice almost till I was 14 when I moved to Moscow. And you know, he was my best friend, everything. He was with me everywhere.
Wow.
When I play in Atlanta, when I started, they were coming visiting me for like a month too. Sometimes he stayed longer to watch the game. So
Let me.
yeah,
So
he
you
was
had
always nice.
you had to take a train with him. An hour and a half to Moscow, and just my dad had.
No, he was. We have that old Russian car. It's called the
Really?
Lada. Yeah, so it would take us. It's like 150 kilometers one way. So it take us, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours one way. So we would go there like 3 times a week because I would practice at my hometown for 3 days, and then we would go for a weekend to Moscow, and then I usually like Wednesday we would go to if they have a game or something. So yeah, I was driving in the back seat, sleeping a lot.
Oh, those tiny! I bet you it's a fucking tiny ass car too. I can picture that tiny little Russian car. But how
it was fun.
That helped you having your dad by your side. Again, I told you I went through the same thing. I still live next to my parents, Kobe.
Hey, Cam, if I gave you the option to buy a car, you can either go to the dealership or you can buy it from your house, from the crib.
Oh my God, Andy Bellman, they make it so easy for you. They'll come to you. Not to mention they'll have videos of any car that you want. They'll go right through it. They'll show you the ins and outs of everything, make it completely simple for you. And I tell you what, they're great people to work with. They've been in the game a long time, Andy. They're huge hockey fans. They do a lot of charity work in this city, and they make it comfortable for you to go buy a car at Bellman.
Exactly. And we're dealing with a pandemic. Cam didn't know that, but everybody else knows we're dealing with a real pandemic. This is serious stuff. And so that's why they're making an adjustment to make life as easy for you, because people out there still need transportation. People out there were still planning on buying cars. Doesn't mean that you have to put that on hold. The NHL season's on pause, but your car aspirations don't need to be. www.bellman.com. You can email them. You can text them. They've got so many different ways. And again, they will do a virtual meeting with you where they'll walk around cars. They'll show you the exterior. They'll show you the interior. Answer any questions you may have about the engine or the performance. And great lease deals. You can buy a new car, pre-owned deals as well. And again, if you're a current Bellman customer, listen up to this as well, because they will come to you with a nice, clean loaner car, all sanitized. You don't have to worry about the big germs because they took care of it. They cleaned it all up for you. They'll leave you with the loaner car, take your car back to the shop, service it up for you, and then deliver it back to you. That's what I call service, Cam Jansen.
They make it too easy, Andy. Everybody's going to start doing this kind of stuff now. They're innovative. They're great people. Check them out. Bellman.com.
If you can't get there, they'll come to you. Again, Bellman, Buick, Cadillac, GMC, or right across the street, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Bellman Automotive Group, proud sponsor and big-time supporter of what we're doing here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. www.bellman.com.
What do you about your kids too, man? Do you ever look at your kids like they got it pretty good? You still had to grind it when you were young. I had to kind of go through some. Andy certainly didn't. He didn't have a father figure really growing up. So is it tough to balance that with your kids? Like, they're living a life. I mean, how do you try to separate that?
They know for sure they gotta earn everything. That's it didn't mean what. I'm trying to give them every opportunity they can, but they have to earn themselves. If they, let's say they're in the schools, wherever we put them in a good school, they have to do well. They don't have anything for free. Same thing in sports. I would support everything. I try when I'm here. I try to go to every practice, drive into every game, and switch. One day I go to soccer practice, one day I go to hockey. But I told them you got to work hard to be better than because for me, I'm like if they're not gonna be the best, don't do the sport. Then go get education and be do something else, because I don't want them just go there to have fun. You have to work hard and be one of the better players in your team. That's my mentality is that.
Yeah, that's good.
But they taking it seriously, and it's because for us it's not easy. The parents, you spend so much time to drive, and I have 4 kids. I have 2 daughters too, so I have to split all that energy between all of them. But with girls, my wife, she's took care of them more, so I need to take care of the boys and put them on the right tracks. First of all, to be a good human being, to be a good person. That's for me is the most important. And then if they will become an athlete or the doctor or businessman, I don't care. But whatever they're going to do, I want them to do the hardest and the best they can.
Write that down, Andy. Write that down. Be a good fucking human being.
That's good advice. Well, that's important. I've always wondered, Kobe, covering Russian players who are here, obviously with Tarasenko and some of these guys. But, you're such a megastar.
He played in St. Pete too. Before
oh my God!
Yeah, we played together in the same line 1 year. It was fun.
He's a good dude.
How good was he, Kobe?
Man, he was dominating when he was 16, 17. But everybody, because he was so big, everybody thought that he's got the fake passport.
He is a big boy.
He's great. I saw him this summer in Miami after they won. We talked a little bit, and now he's got a big family too.
Yeah,
everything changes, but we have so much fun.
He went through hell, Kobe. Like he was banged up throughout that playoff series so bad. He's a fucking warrior, man. Like some of the shit that you see, like he's got to go through, and he just sucks it up though. So it's weird, man. It was tough not seeing him all year long. He just had to go through shoulder surgery,
I think it's even for you guys, it's not a bad situation right now. Everybody can get healthy, and if hopefully we're gonna play the hockey again this year and finish the season, so it'll be really good, I think, for St. Louis.
Hey, how'd you? No, go ahead, Andy, and I'll follow up. Go ahead.
Just had a question, like when you're a big mega star though in Russia, and like you leave, like people don't realize, and I always wondered. I mean, guys like yourself and Ovechkin, and guys even before you, and you just mentioned Tarasenko, like Datsuk. Like, is it hard to leave and come over to the NHL? Like, what's the most difficult part about that? And people back home and the teams back home, how much do they try to keep you and convince you to stay? Like, what's that like?
No, it's your decision. Whatever you want to do, that's your life. Who can tell you what to do? It's impossible. It's not Soviet Union anymore. If you guys think that they're gonna put gun in your head and tell you you gotta stay home, no, it's not true. You make your own decision, and you make decision what's best for you and your family. And obviously, NHL is the best league in the world, and everybody wants to come here, try, to play, to be successful and stuff. So I did that when I was 18. I played 11, 12 years. Then I decided to go back home, and I always knew I'm gonna come back here. It's different. It's challenging, but that's what I like. I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations and go through that, and let's see what happens. Then we'll be like 60, 70 years old. We'll sit in front of the fireplace with a glass of wine and tell the stories to our kids. That's what it's all about.
You had it. I mean, you kind of went through a different era, but guys like Alexander McGillney and even Pavel and Tisov and those guys, you ever sit down and talk to those guys how it was for them coming over here? I mean, it's quite different.
Yeah, I think that movie, The Russian Five, it's a great movie. I don't
great
know if
movie.
Watched it.
Watched it. Yeah.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough. I played with with all of them. In 2002, I was 18 at Salt Lake at Olympics. We have an unbelievable team. Like Pavel, both brothers were there. I think Magic wasn't there, but I knew in my play when he played in Toronto, we played against each other. He's actually the first guy who gave me the stick, innovative stick. I remember that, and I switched to innovative after that, and then it became the Warrior. So since that, I play with that stick. And Slava Fetisov, he was the coach, and he's like one of the older guys who I'm always in contacting with if I have some kind of questions, and we talk. And his advice is always important to me. So I'm like you said, we're lucky that we have all that history, all those guys who have so much experience and who you can call and talk and ask for advice. So it's great. It's fortunate.
Who was your hockey hero, like growing up, and that you couldn't wait to play against when you were almost in awe? When you first came over to the NHL and you were on the ice with, who was it that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm playing with this guy?
Besides me.
I think Mario, because when he returned from his injury, I think we played in Pittsburgh. I think that was his first game back. And I think the score was like 7-6 or something crazy, and he's got like 5 points or something. But I would always play that NHL, and I don't have that PlayStation and all that stuff back then, so we have that Sega 16. So I would play, the NHL. So he's that big right-handed shot. Would always score for Pittsburgh. So he's probably one of the guys who I was kind of very excited to play against and see just in person, in real life.
God, imagine what he had to go through, Kobe. Like, good gosh, like his body just completely broke down in every way. And then he doesn't do anything for a long time. And then he comes back and it's just crazy, man.
He dominates the game, yeah. I think if he would play, like I just checked, I don't know, yesterday I was checking the NHL stats. I think 91-92 season or something, there was like 20 guys over 100 points, and he was on top of the list with like 160 something, and he played only 60 games. And everybody else was like 84 for some reason. I don't know, maybe back then it was 84 games. I don't know what the hell. But like all those OT were there, and like LaFontaine and all those guys, like McGillney with 76 goals. I think that's the year when Silani and McGillney tied the scoring to lead at 76. So he was the Mario was the leading scorer with 160 something points, and only played 60 games.
That's unreal. Yeah. Hey, who's the best Russian player ever in your opinion?
Oh, it's so many of them. It's tough to say one name, but I don't know. Obviously, that line, the Magic, Fedorov, and Bure. I think when they play for national team, they were dominating, and all those guys can be, and like from the Larionov, Fetisov, all those guys there, Makarov, Krutov. You can go, like goalies too. Now look at the league. So many Russian goalies. We would never actually 10 years ago was our biggest problem, because we would always have like Hobby. He was like our real number one, and then if he's not coming, like Nabi was good too. But right now the Russian goal is dominating, so it's crazy. Russia is a huge country, so we got a lot of talent, and it's a lot of good hockey players even now. Coming too. It's good. It's good to see.
When you were in the 90s and you're watching like Detroit, and you're just starting to come to your own, you're like, oh my God. You must have been like, everybody in Russia, all the hockey kids in Russia are probably like, holy fuck.
But no, I wasn't that kid. No, I was Pavel Bure. Not the fan, but I was following him all the time. We have that Sport Express, the newspaper. You would go to that little store every morning and you ask your dad to buy the newspaper, and they would put in the last page of the sport newspaper, they would have the NHL, like the only the scores and whoever scored the goal. So I would always check like who scored, if he scored or not. And then obviously when in '94 Rangers beat them in the finals, that was year. I think the first time they showed it on TV in Russia, that was the first time. So but I was fortunate. I played with Igor in 2002 in Olympics. He was my centerman. But then Slava Kozlov got traded to Atlanta, and we became really close friends. And still now we talk almost every day. And he's the coaching now in the KHL team. So, but it was crazy that if they even make the movie out of it, it means a lot. And they were big in Detroit, and all the teams with Eiserman, Lindstrom, all those guys.
Hobbleberry with those megas. He had those megas on. Those were flipping at night. Remember those things were fucking sick.
Yeah, I remember we played when he was in Florida. We played overtime. So it was 4-on-4 back then, and he would just stay all 5 minutes on ice and just hang out between the red and blue and got like 5 breakaways.
I think you've done that before too, Kobe. Let's be honest.
So I thought maybe it's gonna work for me too, but no, I was minus all the time. So Bob apparently wasn't very happy about that.
No, Pete was good to you though, Kobe. Like you would be out there, and I know you get so pissed, and you would stay out for over 2 minutes. And you'd come back, and you'd be so like you would hit the crossbar, the post, come back. You would come back, you could break up a play, back and forth. And when I think Pete's gonna fucking say something to you, and you look at him, you guys stare at each other, and then that was it. He didn't say shit to you. Oh man.
No, it was good. It was good.
Hey, what's your relationship like with Lou Lamoriello? You guys get along? You have respect for him?
Oh yeah, I think he's obviously one of the best GMs ever were, and I'm very proud, and I'm it's honored that I met him. That guy, he's a true professional, and I can only say good things about the guy. And still, when we played down, I saw him, we talked a little bit, laugh, and he looked even better than when I played Jersey. So
he doesn't age,
great.
Kobe. He doesn't age.
No,
Isn't that weird?
Crazy, yeah.
Kobe, I always talk to about and Andy knows this too. That guy helped me out. Like just like you said, you wanted to get drafted by Atlanta. Probably was the best for you because you didn't have Toronto distractions and shit like that. Well, Lou was the kind of same with me too. Like he kept you in check, man, and he was always around. Absolutely.
Yeah,
have you seen anything like that?
When I got traded to Jersey, I think my first 2 weeks I was in his office every day. He would call meetings, like he would talk about hockey, about life, about family, about everything. He just tried to. I think he treated everybody in his team like his kids, like the family, the real. He's like really care about everybody. And I know that whoever the guy got in trouble, he would be the first guy there to help him to get him out. It's like when I remember we were in long road trips. He would send all the wives to watch the show in New York. Together. It's like those things you never would think that GM would organize for anybody, but he was make sure like everybody happy and stay together. So he's great, for sure he's great. And the way he went to Toronto, he changed everything. Now the team is top in the league. Now he went to Islanders, he did the same thing. So obviously he knows what he's doing.
Wow. See, that's the stuff that never gets out about Lou. And I love the fact that it doesn't get out because he keeps everything so private. But people, we've had a lot of guys on here, Kobe, who have had a relationship, played for Lou, whether it's Jersey or whatever, and nobody's ever said anything bad about him. Everybody says positive things about Lou, so it's good to hear. When you, I gotta take you back to LA before we let you go. A few more minutes here. But when you're playing in LA, had you ever experienced that in hockey, Kobe? Because you've always kind of had things your way. You've always been the best player on the team, producing. And did hockey become more of a chore for you, where it wasn't fun? Like, what was that experience playing there when you weren't having a lot of team success or personal success?
I just took it as another challenge, because the life it's never gonna be smooth and nice. It's always bumps and roads, and that was one of them. And I knew the people who know me personal, they know what I'm all about. And when I came here, not too many people know me as a person. So it was, it takes a little time to know each other and stuff. But then we started getting all the changes, like coaching and stuff. And, the team came from contender to seller, and it's always not easy. And, that was my decision. And, end of the day, we end up, my kids in schools here, we bought a house, and I think when I'm done, the place in US will be here. And my older daughter, she wants to be here. She is a freshman in high school, and she wants to go to university here. So it's the life is not about only hockey. Sometimes it's in one place it's it's a challenging, but on the other side. So I'm a positive man. I'm always look where's the positives, and like I said, it's a great city, it's a great organization, and that was my decision that I want to cancel that contract and start over again, because my dream to win a cup, and it's if it's gonna take that way, then it's okay. It's different, it's tougher, it takes a little more than what I thought, but that's what it's all about. The life is about challenges.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Fuck. With the team that you're playing on right now, you probably will win a fucking cup, Kobe. To be honest with you, one more from me, and I wanted to ask you about how you met your wife. I know she was a singer. How'd that go? Did you go to her concerts and meet her backstage? Like,
no, man, no. I was 18. I was sitting at my little apartment in Atlanta. I have only one Russian channel, was a music channel. So that the clips of the group, they were play over and over again. I'm like, who's that girl? So when in summertime I went back home, so I did a little research, and that's how I met her. I just invited her to the restaurant, and we're same age. We're both 36, 37. So we met when we were 19. So it's a long way.
Was she like? Did you?
Great.
Was she like, how did you get a hold of me? Was she like, did you just like look me up? You creeped her right out, Kobe.
It's crazy, but one of my friends, she knows some friends and stuff. So it was, but when I met her, she came with her friend, and my friend told me that one of them, she's got a boyfriend, and the other one not. So I'm like, oh, come on, for sure, the girl who I like, she would have a boyfriend. And then she was act like she did have a boyfriend. And the other one, she's like, she's having fun. She's like, jump in my car. We go to restaurant. And my wife said, no, I'm not going. I'm going home. So I'm like, oh, for sure. And then it happened that other girl, she was having a boyfriend. And my wife, she didn't, but she just went home. So she was playing really well. So
playing the game on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy knows about that.
Is she famous over there? Like, is she a big star over in Russia?
Yeah, the people know her, but I don't think. We like in our family, we never think about that, But it's obviously now with all the social media and everything, I think anybody can be famous. But
especially your TikTok videos.
Yeah,
TikTok videos.
No, that's my kids, man. They to learn all those moves, it takes me like an hour. For them, it's 2 seconds. They're like, "Dad, are you serious? You can do this?" I'm like, "Come on, slow down a little bit."
It is a different with the social media. Well, look, man, Kobe.
Hey, one more, Cam. I want to ask him one more if I can. How much longer you want to play, Obi? And like you kind of said that your daughter wants to go to college here. Like, you think you'll stay in the States? Like, do you see yourself working in hockey and having a future on the management side? Like, what do you want to do?
I want to play. I feel good. Like the last 2 years, I played, I think, 60-something games. So I'm ready to go, and I'm hungry. I want to play. And it's when hockey is fun, it's fun. As soon as it became your job, then I will be done. But right now I'm having fun. I'm train hard, try to keep myself in shape, and do well. So we'll see. I'm never gonna project how many more years I'm gonna play. But from now, right now, what's happening and everything, you never know. But still, we're gonna go through that together, and hopefully hockey and all the sports will be back soon. And fans will be cheering for us too, because the play games without the fans, it's crazy. I think it's stupid. It's not worth it.
I hear you on that.
Right. Well, good stuff, man. Hey, stay healthy, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this for sure.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jen. Thank you. Thanks.
See you,
Good luck
Kobe,
with the show, and we'll be in touch. That's my number, so you know my number now.
Oh, I know your number, buddy. See you, Kobe.
Okay,
dude. I'll see you,
thanks,
buddy.
guys. Okay.
Right on.
See you, man. Take care, man.
All right, that was Ilya Kovalchuk. Cam, do you get allergies, by the way? I'm just curious.
Oh, God, yeah. Why?
Because they're killing me. Because I do my car. I do the show in my car. Okay, because I have to get out of my house.
It's like I got little kids running around everywhere. So here I am doing the show.
Well, put your fucking foot down at home, and they won't run your show. Jeez Louise.
Well, shit, we're gonna have Eric Lindros on here shortly. Same thing happened to him. You don't know what it's like. They find you. They just come find you. That's exactly what they do. What stood out from Ilya Kovalchuk, man? That was fun.
Well, what stood out was that he actually did an interview. You know, like
he doesn't do many, does he?
No, dude, look it up online, man. Like, you look at any interview, like maybe there's some in Russia, but not many around here. And he came on, he gave us an hour. He was real. You know, a lot of ups and downs with his career, a lot of things that people look at that were negative. He dipped into a lot of things. We learned a lot from him, man. And again, I don't give a shit what he's done. Maybe he left the NHL. He pissed off a lot of Devils fans. I completely understand why you'd be pissed off. I am telling you, he is a super, super human being. He came on our fucking podcast and brought it, and we love him for that, man.
I know we've been seeing more and more of these Russian players come to the NHL. It's been years now. I mean, decades. But you still think it's difficult? I mean, imagine being a young Russian kid. It probably is their dream now to play in the National Hockey League when you look at all these great Russian players who have been here playing in the NHL. But I think we take it for granted, Cam, of just how difficult of a life adjustment for a young kid that has to be when you don't know the language, even though you speak great English. Now, it's not easy, though.
Yeah, okay, fine. I think it's a lot harder for the Americans to go over to Russia and fucking play.
Totally agree.
But those guys coming over here now, it's pretty much like a walk in the park. I don't feel sorry for him at all coming over here. Are you kidding? I don't feel sorry for him at all. Now, just like I said to Kobe, too, I go, Kobe's like, dude, you guys think Russia in a different way? Well, yeah, we did. You know, it was easy for you to come over here, fucking talk to Alexander McGillney about that. He'll sit down and talk to you. It's god-awful, man. Your family getting threatened and shit like that. Like, it was a completely different story. So do I feel sorry for Russians that come over here? Not at all. You're treated like fucking royalty. But back in the early 90s, completely different story, man.
Okay, but I'm just talking about, they're still leaving their family. They're still leaving their home. They're still young.
For hope and opportunity.
I know, and they're still walking into a situation where nobody speaks their language. But listen,
I get it.
It's walk in the park. I don't know if it's a walk in the park. Is it a great life? Is it a great opportunity? 100%.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe I was a little too loosey-goosey on that, and I apologize. But it's not like it used to be. And again, you will adjust over here. They want you to be happy. They want you to be comfortable. Like, it's not like you come over here from military. No, like, you're treated so unbelievable. Better than any 99.9999% of anybody that comes over here in their job. It's a little bit of adjustment, but they give you they lay the red carpet out for you, man. Come on, Andy. It's like I was complaining about how some of the wives and their husbands are getting traded all the time. Like, oh, come on. You're not in the military.
Exactly.
You're not in the fucking military.
No.
I feel sorry for military wives.
You know what you're signing up for.
Exactly.
I mean, this is life in professional sports. But, and listen, Ovechkin brought his parents over. Kovalchuk talked about how his parents would come over and stay for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So,
Copeland's dad, big time, eh? His dad would drive him everywhere and shit.
And we have a lot of Russians listening. I know they appreciate you saying how easy it is to come over to the States, but they do come over here for a better life. And they certainly listen. NHL players are no different.
Trust me, I roomed with some Russians, and they were they put the temperature on 79 degrees at night. I'm like, no, it doesn't get cold right now. We're in September in Jersey. Anyway,
what stood out the most about it? I know we talked about it a little bit in the open, but just watching him play, like, you play with Jágr too, like Marty Brodeur. I mean, we're talking about some of the all-time greats. I mean, not just great players of their generation, some of the best to ever play. You better not take that for granted, Cam.
I don't take it for granted, man. That's why I got him on. What was the question? Well, how good is he? He's fucking awesome. I mean,
no, that wasn't the question.
Oh, what was it?
Just watching him on a daily basis. Looking back on it.
I told you, he'd come in the locker room and he'd do a little dance and be funny and just do a stretch and do his warm up and get a stick take, like just like anybody else. But then he'd go out there at 240 pounds and do shit like he's 5'9" Nathan Gerby.
Cam, are you still emotional because somebody put your goals on Twitter?
Oh my God, I cried. Oh God, the memories. No, I did. Kate and I both watched it. We're like, oh, good Lord.
Did Kate cry too?
Oh, yes. Oh, she cried every time I scored, baby.
Your goals are absolutely hilarious. Now,
I know.
this is one thing I can't really chirp you for because I never scored a goal in the NHL.
No, you haven't.
But I probably could have scored every goal that you scored outside of maybe one.
Oh, you could have fucking ducked down on that clapper? You could have ducked down on that clapper?
No, that's the only one. That's the only one. I don't know if I would have blown it past. But Brent Johnson, we'll probably get him on one of these days. And I know BJ from his days back here in St. Louis, man. This guy came in with a real, he just came in on fire here in St. He was a good goalie. He stuck around for a long time.
We'll get him on.
So I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit on all of them. But that one was a really, I mean, listen, that was a nice goal. That was a National League goal. I'll give you credit.
That was a Kovalchuk goal.
But you blew it past an NHL goaltender. The other ones, it's like a crash test dummy.
Well,
I don't even know if you had 2 hands on your stick. You just go to the net. You could have scored more, Cam, if you had that mentality. Okay.
Thank you, Andy. Let me write that down real quick. Let me go back in fucking time and meet you and be like, hey, what do I need to do? Andy Strickland, get out of here.
Can you explain the euphoria you feel? What's the next closest thing after scoring?
Probably heroin. Probably really good heroin.
Please tell the listeners you wouldn't know that.
No. Maybe synthetic heroin, but fucking painkillers and shit. But other than that, no. Look at my facial expressions, man. Like I couldn't control myself, you know. Like it's just you can't explain it, and I kind of I get in like a blackout mode where I'm like, how do I celebrate? You know, it takes control of your body, man. It's unbelievable.
How many goals did you score in a Blues uniform? 2?
Yeah, a couple. Remember the one time that long-haired kid, that rookie, I forgot his name, and I come across against Montreal and I score, and everybody's going, it was like my first goal of the year, and they announce it, and then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, they announce that the goal goes to this kid who had his first NHL goal, and they boo him.
So they booed him. Wait, hold on. Tell that story. So Cam scores a goal, but they changed it.
They changed it because it hit off
another player. So the game's in St. Louis, so everyone thought this was Cam's first goal as a Blue, right?
Something like that, yeah.
They announced over the intercom, hey, the goal has been changed to this other kid. Was this his first NHL goal?
I believe he's a long-haired kid. He was there.
Where was it?
I don't know. I don't remember. But he was there for like 2 weeks, and I hit and it barely touched Grace's jersey. And they announced that the fans started booing a little bit.
They booed him. They booed all your friends and family booing.
I know.
Were you pissed? Like who? Was he saying, "Hey, it went off of me"? Or
no. I just no. I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh, whatever.
What kind of goal was it? Was it? Did you shoot it like more than like 6 inches away from the goaltender?
Yes. I came across the dot in the offensive zone, and he kicked it up to me. I just shot it, and it was actually a shot for once. And it just grazed off his jersey. But anyway, I gave him a goal. Gave him his first. Although he got food.
All right, cool, man. All right, good job today. Who do we have coming up next? Do you remember?
Ryan Whitney and then Eric Lindros, baby. Ain't
Whitney,
too shabby.
Then Lindros.
Yes,
all right, check us out. Twitter, at Cam Jansen 25, at Andy Strickland, at Cam and Strick Pod. Shoot us a note, man. We've been getting some messages from the fans. We love that. We love the feedback we get from people who have taken time to listen to the podcast. We appreciate. Hopefully, we're giving you a little bit of relief, off of everything that you're dealing with. Cam, you sound like Darth Vader, by the way. You keep breathing into the phone. Is anybody hearing this?
Look,
or is it just me?
Your phone fucking sucks. Okay,
no,
you're sitting in your car. You're sitting in your car right now. I'm chilling. My phone's fine. I do breathe heavily though. That means I'm working hard, bro.
By the way, I'm looking for a dog. I want an Aussie Bernie Doodle. If anybody has an Aussie, not a Australian Labradoodle, Aussie Bernie Doodle, or a mini Bernie Doodle, hit me up. I'm looking for a puppy. This is the best time to get a dog. Cam, would you agree?
Yeah, and I do have a dog and 2 cats, and they're living the best life they've ever lived because we're home all fucking day. Like, that's the one thing. The animals in this quarantine are just loving life, where everybody else is kind of losing their money.
They go for walks every day, like 3-4 times a day.
Oh, yeah, dude. Eats all fucking day.
Dogs have never been in better shape than they are right now. All right, this has been the Cam and Strick Podcast, brought to you by our friends over with Bellman Automotive in Troy, www.bellman.com. Check out their website. Get yourself a set of new wheels, maybe a pre-owned vehicle as well. If you want to call them, email them, text them, all these options are there. You can do a virtual sales call. They'll show you the car. They'll pop the hood, show you the engine. whatever you need to see, interior, exterior. They'll bring a clean, sanitized car for you to check out as well. Again, www.bellman.com. And, of course, our friends over there at Cope24, www.cope24.com. And our girl, Renee Howard. Cam Jansen, great job today, buddy.
Thanks, brother.